How do you do, ladies and gentlemen? I'm Pika Stanis. That's how I start the program. This is sort of an honor to Fahey Flynn. That's how he started introducing the news on Channel 7. So I will do a story about him, later on, maybe next year, because I wrote a story about him on my blog, Fan Chicagoland blog. If you'd like to check it out, please do. But right now, we'll go back to the original introduction. Hello, everyone. This is Pika Stanis, and welcome to Vanish Chicagoland Stories, the podcast. And this is episode 87, season 4. And today I will talk about 2 Christmas TV specials. One is Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer and Frosty the Snowman. And they're not really vanished in Chicago, but this is memories. I will talk about memories of of the show when I was growing up, and I still watch them to this day. So that should be a lot of fun. All right. Right now, we're going to go to a commercial break, and this program is brought to you by Cool Whip, and it's a Christmas commercial, and it's from 1980. Enjoy, everybody. Thank you.
Wish you a Merry Christmas. We wish you a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year.
How about some Christmas cheer, Tucker style?
Look at all those desserts. Could I have some spice cake, please?
Sure. Date nut cake, please.
That apple pie looks like my mother's, homemade topping and all.
Only I use Cool Whip.
Tastes fresh as homemade.
That's why I wouldn't use anything else.
Can I have some more Cool Whip?
All you want. Merry Christmas. Merry Christmas from Tucker Inn.
Happy New Year.
This episode is brought to you by Google Gemini. With the Gemini app, you can talk live and have a real-time conversation with an AI assistant. It's great for all kinds of things, like if you want to practice for an upcoming interview, ask for advice on things to do in a new city, or brainstorm creative ideas. And by the way, this script was actually read by Gemini. Download the Gemini app for iOS and Android today. Must be 18 plus to use Gemini Live.
Okay, everybody, I am back. I hope you enjoyed that commercial for Cool Whip from 1980. I would talk a little bit about that commercial and the spokeswoman who did those. Her name was, the actress name was Marge Redmond. She played Sarah Tucker on those commercials. That ran from, I think, late 1970s to the early 80s. And she was best known as Sister Jacqueline on the TV series The Flying Nun that ran on ABC from 1967 to 1970. And she was marvelous, marvelous actress. And I remember watching the show in reruns in the 70s when it aired on WFLD TV, Channel 32. I remember it was on in the morning, 11:30, sometimes in the afternoon. That's a show that Sally Field, who played Sister Betrayal, despised. She was not crazy about that show. She liked the cast, but she didn't like the show. And I believe at the end of the 3rd season, or during the 3rd, I think she was pregnant. So, and she was glad she got out of that. They ran for 3 seasons, but she did the TV show Gidget for 1 season. But something didn't do well in the ratings in 65 on ABC. But when it went into reruns, became very popular, but they decided not to continue. And I started watching that show like in the 80s on WPRW Channel 60, not Channel 50. And I have it on DVD. Funny thing about Flying Nun, the first 2 seasons are on DVD, but not the 3rd. I don't know why. It's been stalled. Hopefully they'll get that. I don't know. Who knows? Anyway, back to the commercial. Cool Whip is still a popular product. I love it, and it's non-dairy. But there was another whip topping in the 80s that a lot of people forgot, was called La Creme from Kraft. And that, it was pretty good. I liked that. But then it disappeared, towards the end of the 80s and never be seen again. I used to love that. And there were other dessert toppings. There was Dream Whip and, of course, Ready Whip. I love that. So I love those commercials. I remember those Cool Whip commercials in the 70s, especially Christmas time. Okay. Before I begin the program, there's let's see, I want to talk about some. Yes, there was something I'd like to talk about. I posted a video a couple days ago on December 10th, and that was my second anniversary of diagnosed with prostate cancer. And I posted a video and I explained what had to be done and with the operation, radiation, and then I was declared cancer-free on October 27th. I'm still recovering. I still have bathroom issues. That'll go away in time, gradually. I hope so. It's annoying. Sometimes I can't go anywhere far. Just around the neighborhood, or if I have to go somewhere, and there'll be long periods, of time. Probably have to wear a diaper just for protection. Anyway, so everything is going well, and I urge people, especially men, if your PSA is high, or if you feel kind of strange, go see your doctor and take the blood test and / PSA test, and if it's high, please go see a specialist. He probably recommend that. And if you are diagnosed with any type of cancer, please take care of that, especially men. At age 50 and up, even younger, just have a checkup. A lot of men don't do that, and before it's too late. And it's thank God. There was something wrong with me. I used to go to my regular doctor, but he passed away suddenly at the time, so I had to go see another doctor. Thank God. So it was. I'm sorry, I'm just a little emotional. So I'm doing very well, and I got a lot of responses from people on my social media accounts: Twitter, Facebook, Instagram. Thank you very much for your comments and your well wishes, and I won't talk about it much. I'll just continue on with my life. If anything comes up health wise, I will let everyone know. But right now, the next appointment is April 27th, in a few months in 2022. Okay, that's it for now. Thank you. Right now, I'm going to talk about two things on this episode. It's TV specials Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer and Frosty the Snowman. I will talk about a little history of those shows plus my memories and go in a little more detail of the shows. Like I said before, previous in the episode, why is this a Havana Chicagoland subject? Well, most TV specials, they don't air much, except there are a few exceptions. And Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer airs every year on CBS, on Channel 2, WBBM. They air it maybe twice, maybe three times during the holiday season. Also, Frosty the Snowman, too. And there were other TV specials, Christmas, that is. They don't air much, but Santa Claus is Coming to Town from 1970 does air every year. Thank God. That's one of my favorites. I love that one. I hate to say it, but I like it better than Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer. I don't know why, but they're both fine. But I like Santa Claus is Coming to Town. It's funnier. Also, they show Charlie Brown Christmas, but now you can't watch it free. You have to watch it on Apple TV. Kind of stinks. So, but now the PBS is airing it on Channel 11, which is good. But it's not the same, They air it at strange hours, but they should air it not in the evening when people are home. It's tradition. But I don't know, somebody in charge decided, no, don't do that. Who knows? I can't figure it out. Anyway, so I'll discuss those two TV specials. First off, we'll talk about Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer. And that is based, that character is based, it was created by a man called Robert Louis May. and he was that came out from the it was come from a book, and it first appeared in 1939, and the character was from the department store Montgomery Ward in Chicago, and they used to advertise that. And then believe it or not, a lot of people thought that Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer first aired in 1964. That was the first cartoon. That is not true. There was a cartoon short from 1948, and a lot of people don't know that. I got to check that out because it sounds very interesting. And also the song, it was written by Johnny Marks, and Gene Autry recorded it. He was the first artist to record it, and it became #1 on Christmas 1949. And I have it on my Apple Music, and it's wonderful. And there are other people, and other people followed suit. I remember Dean Martin, Ella Fitzgerald, Frank Sinatra, Kate Smith. I think she did. I'm not sure. There's so many artists that recorded. Perry Como, Bing Crosby. And then, because he was, Rudolph had a shiny red nose. That's part of the song. And then right now I'm going to talk about the TV special. And the TV special debuted in December 6, 1964. It was on NBC. Channel 5, back then was WNBQ, not WMAQ. I think it was I don't know, I forgot. I get those mixed up. They changed the call letters. And it's sponsored by General Electric. And it was under the umbrella title of General Electric Fantasy Hour. And so I was too young when it aired because I was about a year old. So I started watching it in the 70s. And so the story goes, Rudolph was born. Donner and his wife, they were their parents. And they were surprised that he had a glowing red nose. And they saw it as a bad sign. And Donner tried to cover Rudolph's nose with mud and then with a fake nose. That didn't go very well. And then, there was a scene when Rudolph played with the other reindeers, for games. And then he met a doe, female deer, named Clarice. And she thought it was cute. But, and so the other reindeers when the fake nose fell off, the other reindeers made fun of him. They mocked him, ridiculed him. And then there was Coach Comet. He expelled him. They wanted to be in the team. And, that made Rudolph very sad, felt unwanted, because he was like outcast. And then there was another scene where there was a misfit elf named Hermie. And he wanted to be a dentist. And he was a cute little guy. And so they met each other, Rudolph and Hermie, and then they came across with Yukon Cornelius, a prospector. He was spent his life searching for silver and gold. And there was also a bad guy, the abominable snow monster. And they all three landed on the island of Misfit Toys. And the ruler was a winged lion named King Moonracer. Remember, if you've seen the show many times, you would know these characters. And then time passed, and then everybody got along. The Misfit Toys, that is. I'll talk about the characters in a minute. And then they tried to defeat the abominable snow monster, and they did. And then at the end of the show, Santa came on, and he changed his mind. He didn't want him to be a part of the reindeers, but he did at the end, and he asked Rudolph to lead the sleigh. Rudolph Accepts, and then their first up was The Island of Misfit Toys, and that was it. I'm sorry I left out a lot of things in the plot, but it was interesting. And the rest of the cast in the show was Sam the Snowman. He did the introduction. That was voiced by Burl Ives, a wonderful singer. He sang the Holly Jolly Christmas, very classic song. I love that song. Oh, never get tired of it. And the others was Larry Mann. He played Yukon Cornelius. I remember this man. He did a lot of television. He used to do a lot of TV. I remember him on Bewitched. But when I heard his voice, I knew it was him. And Rudolph was voiced by Billy May Richards. And most of the actors were Canadian, And Hermie was voiced by Paul Sauls. He was best known as the voice of Spider-Man on the cartoon series from 1967. I love that. Oh, that music. When you start hearing the music, you can't get it out of your head. I just love it. The cartoons were cheap, but that was fun to watch. And Santa Claus was voiced by Stan Francis, and he also did King Moonracer. And the other characters was there was Fireball, Charlie in the Box, there was Clarice, the Misfit Elephant, and there was Dolly for Sue, and of course there was Mrs. Claus. So there were other toys, and I love the special very much, and I when it's on, I do try to watch it, and I also have the DVD. And there's a man, his name is Rick Goldsmith. He's written books on it, and he's a big expert on that. I appreciate it, and I bought a DVD for him with the original broadcast. It's in black and white, but that's okay. And I loved it. It's like you watched it for the first time on television. That's the way it's supposed to be, and because as the years went on, they edited and they chopped on a song, and let's see. And the numbers they played was Jingle, Jingle, Jingle. Santa Claus sang that. We Are Santa's Elves. There Was Always Tomorrow. We're a Couple of Misfits, and Silver and Gold. And of course, there was The Most Wonderful Day of the Year by the Misfit Toys. Holly Jolly Christmas, Sam the Snowman, sung by Earl Ives. And of course, Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer, which Burl Ives sang at the end. So it's fun. It's a lot of fun discussing that. And we need more TV specials like that around Christmas time. And I forgot to mention that the other TV special they do run now is The Grinch. They run that. And I discussed that in a previous episode. Okay. Right now, I'm going to discuss Frosty the Snowman. And that was based on a song written by Walter Jack Rollins and Steve Nelson. And of course, the first one they recorded was Gene Autry. Same thing with Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer. And he recorded it in 1950. And also later recorded by Jimmy Durante, which he sang on the TV special. And other people sang the song, others down the road, like Bing Crosby, Perry Como, others like that. Michael Bublé now, he sings all the Christmas songs, which he's a wonderful singer. I saw his TV special last week. Wonderful singer. And I have a lot of artists that sang that song on my Apple Music. So also before I talk about the 1969 special, there was a Frosty short. There was a 3 animated short, and it used to show on Channel 9 on WGN, and it's a different kind of song, and it's very catchy, and it's in black and white. They played that with Susie Snowflake and Hard Rock, Coco, and Joe. I will talk about those three in a later episode, hopefully. And they played those three shorts on the Bozo Circus Show, Ray Rayner, Garfield Goose. And so, yeah, like I said, I will go into more detail about those three shorts later on. Okay. Now for the TV special. that aired on December 7th, 1969 on CBS on Channel 2. And I think I did see it for the first time because I was about 6. Yeah, I think. But maybe not. Maybe I saw it a year later. Yeah, I don't think I aired. I don't think I saw it when it first aired. I think it was like the following year. And it was about the kids build a snowman. And but first they were in school, and the teacher brought in some entertainment, and the magician was Professor Hinkle, and he had a rabbit with him, very mischievous one, and he didn't do very well performing magic. He just stunk. So, and kids laughed at him, and he was totally dismayed, and he walked away. And I think he left it, I haven't seen the special in a long time. And then, the rabbit's name was Hocus Pocus. Thank you. And Jimmy Durante narrated the show. He also sang the song Frosty the Snowman. And the magician's hat was placed after the kids build a snowman, and he was brought to life. And the first words he said was "Happy Birthday." And they decided he should be at the North Pole to be safe from melting, And I remember they were going to the train station, and there's a funny scene where at the ticket counter where the clerk, trying to find a route to go to the North Pole, but then the little girl, Karen, and Frosty said, "We don't have any money to go," and he said, "No money, no tickets," and he slammed the door, slammed, like a sliding thing at the ticket window. So, but Professor Hinkle realized that his hat was missing, and he tried to retrieve it back, and he did, but then Frosty melted, and then. But they were at the North. They got to the North Pole, and they met Santa Claus, and that's where Professor Hinkle snatched a hat, and then he melted. And when Santa Claus found out that Professor Hinkle took the hat, he chastised him. He said, "You will get no presents on Christmas Day." There was also something else he said. I think he had to write something many times. And I remember the scene, and what he said was "busy, busy, busy," and he went back home. And then then Frosty led a parade with a lot of kids, and that was the end of that. It was fun. The voices of the cast, the one who did Frosty, it was a comedian named Jackie Vernon, and he performed comedy on the Ed Sullivan Show, and I remember seeing him on Night Gallery, and some of the comedy acts he did, it was a little blue. It was, it had kind of dirty words, and it was kind of dirty like that. But he seemed like a nice fellow, very quiet, but he was very funny. I've seen performances, some clips on YouTube. And of course, it was Jimmy Durante. He was the narrator, and the voice of Karen. It was June Foray who did Rocky the Flying Squirrel. She also did the school teacher, and there were some friends. And there was a traffic cop. It was Paul Frees. He was an actor. He did Boris Badenov on Rocky and Bullwinkle. Excuse me. So he did the ticket man, the traffic cop, and Santa Claus. So he did those three characters. And last but not least, the voice of Professor Hinkle was Billy D. Wolfe, and he was quite a guy. He appeared in a lot of TV shows. He's famous there was one famous episode in Dick Van Dyke where he played a dog groomer, and he was very uppity, being rude to Dick Van Dyke and Mary Tyler Moore, and he appeared in a lot of shows like Doris Day, and sadly he died in 1974. He was a marvelous actor, and I watch the specials every year. I love Frosty the Snowman. There was a sequel after that. I don't. Oh yeah, it was Frosty's Winter Wonderland. I saw that, but it's not the same. I don't know. But the narrator this time was not Jimmy Durante. It was Andy Griffith. So the reason what and Jimmy Durante did not do the voice, and he had a stroke and he retired from acting, which is a shame. So the only voices were there was Paul Frees, he did, and Jackie Vernon. He did Frosty again. It wasn't the same, it was all right, but then they had another sequel, Rudolph and Frosty's Christmas in July. I saw it once, and it was very strange, but it was good. It was fine like that. And other Rankin Bass specials like is The Year Without a Santa Claus, and I'll discuss that one in another show. Because I love that one as well. Okay, so that'll be all for today. Thank you for joining me for episode 87. This is Pete Costanas for Vanish Chicagoland Stories, the podcast. I will post this on my social media accounts. So you can find it on YouTube, on my YouTube channel, that is. And it'll be up shortly. So the next episode I will do will be Tuesday, episode 88. I hope you can join me then. All right. So everyone have a good day. Take care, everyone. Bye-bye for now. And here's Ray Barrier saying bye-bye for now. So long.
We have to go. Bye, bye, bye.